What up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 47 today of the My Player Career Mode. Thank you so much for all of the likes and stuff on the last episode. You guys are incredible with all the support you give me on this series. I really do appreciate it. But you may be thinking by the title, Danny, you've not given us enough information, pal. What do you mean by the fact that this has not actually happened or something along that? I don't actually know what I'm going to title today's video, but something magical has happened, which makes it kind of weird considering the fact we're in the build-up to Christmas. Anyways, I'm going to get away from that because in yesterday's episode, I said to you all, I was like, listen, if there's an EA god, please, can Real Madrid match Spurs in the next round of the Champions League? You guys heard me say it in the episode, right? And it just so happens that there must be someone, a higher power within EA, watching my videos because I did not know the draw of the next round. All we knew that Real Madrid were through against Saint Etienne by beating them 3-0 over the course of the two legs. But we didn't know whether or not Spurs had made it past Bayern and whether or not the next part of the group stage or the knockout round, were drawn. Because, of course, we had to play this game against Barcelona to advance a day. So then that way, the other legs that hadn't have been played yet, and therefore we were waiting on them, could have been played. And let's just say this. We've got some news for you all later on after this game has been played against Barcelona. But I won't spoil it yet. We'll get into the game against Barca. And this one is the second El Clasico of the season so far. The first one ending in a dull 0-0 draw. This one, though, is not going to end in a 0-0 draw because Barcelona have taken the lead inside 16 minutes. And they are the home side. So, I mean, for them, it's a little bit more pressure. They're up to 5th at this stage now in the career, guys, in Ben's career. And it was interesting because this was the type of game where, you look at this as an El Clasico, but it's not maybe as an important El Clasico as what you're probably used to seeing because, as I said, Barcelona were 5th going into this game here. So, for them, it was more about picking up points to try and climb the table than them worrying really about an El Clasico. I mean, bragging rights, I guess you can say, is still important for either side, but I mean, Barcelona, this game was a lot more important to them than it was to Real Madrid because they had a little bit of a point gap in Madrid and Barca were down in 5th, so they had to put on a performance here. They had no real other option. And then it took till the second half for Real Madrid to start to get themselves into it. Nice bit of passing play there. Led to a shot which was very weak and straight into the hands of ter Stegen. And then we moved to the 66th minute where the next chance appeared. It was Rashford on the left and finding the ball towards the left-hand side. He picks it back up, finds its way to the middle. And in the end, the shot again was very poor from Sergio Aguero at this time on the receiving end of that pass there. As we move into the 90th minute, Ben looking to try and change the game. Varane into him. It's a lovely Ronaldo chop to beat the man in the middle. Take a look at this, though. What a sensational block that is from the Barcelona defender that stops Ben from having a clear shot at goal. And that is the way the first game has ended, sadly. I mean, as I said, it doesn't really hurt Real Madrid as much as it would have done had Barcelona been having a good season and had it have been, Real Madrid and Barca in first and second, because Barca were 5th, it doesn't really affect Real Madrid all that much. All it means is they've lost that game there, which then means they couldn't kind of open up the gap even further in terms of their point lead currently at the top of the table. That was actually like a game in hand, I think. So, as I said, I mean, I'm not too worried about the position for Real Madrid at the moment. It's just a one-off. It happens. Sadly, sometimes they will pick up points here and there, and they will lose games when they lose them like that. So, yeah, slightly disappointing, but, I mean, for Ben, I'm not sure he's going to be that worried about it. Then, I decided I would actually take a look at the draw for the first time of the Champions League, and this is where the EA gods answered our prayers of the yesterday's episode, because the draw looks like that. Juventus will take on Chelsea. Real Madrid will take on Spurs after they knocked out Bayern Munich. Manchester United will take on Wolfsburg. And I think that's Sevilla, is it? Taking on Galatasaray. So some big teams being knocked out of the competition. But most importantly, Real Madrid and Ben will be taking on Spurs in the next knockout round. It's his former club, the club where he won a Premier League title. He won the Carabao Cup. He got through to an FA Cup final, sadly losing it in last season. He played half of 2019 where he won Player of the Year at Spurs. And now he's going to have to take them on in a Champions League. He arguably has got them in there in the first place. His performances last season helped them getting there. And now he's got a job to try and knock them out of the competition as we move further on down the line. I can't believe it. Genuinely, I do not know how that has happened. You guys heard me sit there and I was like, I want this game. I want Spurs to be able to take on Real Madrid. I want the draw to be in our favour. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. It just adds to the fact that last season when Ben was at Spurs, they drew Arsenal 6 times across 2 Premier League games, 2 in the Europa League, 1 in the FA Cup and 1 in the Carabao Cup. I mean, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, as we're moving on to the next game, though, guys, we will not have any of the Spurs games in today's episode. You guys will have to wait until a future episode for that one, sadly. But we have got some league gameplay for you all to sit back and enjoy. A little bit of a little kind of snippet here. Ben is currently third place in the way of goals, 2 behind Budabuz of Real Betis. Now, if I remember correctly, Budabuz is actually an attacking midfielder as well. So it seems like the attacking midfielders this year in La Liga are doing some of the business in order to get themselves up high in the goal scorers list. As we move into the first highlight, Ben on the ball, finding Aubameyang straight through to Salvio, who had a great episode yesterday. We called it the Salvio show. This time around, he missed that chance there. The keeper made a decent stop, but in all honesty, it was hit straight at him from Salvio. Slightly disappointing from him. You in the form he's in, you kind of think he was going to score that one. But Ben then goes on a tremendous run, finding a shot at the end of it, and the keeper again makes a good stop. As we move into the last 17 minutes of it, Real Madrid lacking a little bit of creativity at the moment. They didn't really create too much against Barca, and now they're struggling to find the opener here against Leganes, and they could have been behind if it wasn't for a good save from the goalkeeper of Madrid. I think it's Casilla in between the sticks, and sadly, it was a 0-0 draw again. Or rather, I say again, I mean a disappointing performance again, let's say. It was a 0-0 draw, of course, to add to the 1-0 defeat that they got earlier on against Barca, and let's just say some of the Madrid fans were not too happy with that one. They were cursing a few players and throwing some stuff at them and stuff, but it happens. So, Real Madrid about to have like a blip in form, because, I mean, look at the league table there, guys. 27 games in, they've still got a 7-point lead at the top of the table, I think it was, but, you know, they've drawn one and lost one so far in today's episode, so they need to get back on form. They need to get back to winning ways, I guess you can say. So, let's see if they can do that in the next game here, which is coming up against Alaves, and this one is away from home. But Ben in the side, he's got Rashford, Aubameyang, and I think Salvio up front to try and feed in this game here. So we'll see if he can do that. Note as well, guys, Gareth Bale, I said he was injured, wasn't he? He picked up the injury, was it last episode or the episode before? He's out for 3 months. A 3-month injury to Gareth Bale means that we will be seeing a whole lot more of Salvio and possibly Karim Benzema playing out on that right-hand side, because, as I said, you don't want to lose your best players, and we've lost one through injury in the form of Gareth Bale, so he's unavailable for the next few games. He might even miss this. I think he is going to miss the rest of the season, actually. So, yeah, potentially without Gareth Bale for the rest of this season for Ben. So he's got to work with the other side and the other teammates that he's got. I mean, Ronaldo can play there, Aguero can play there, Benzema can play there. Right now, Salvio is the man to get the nod. We'll see if he can do the business in this game here against Alaves. And pretty much, guys, straight from kickoff, the first chance appeared. I edited it out a little bit because it was like the first minute. They spent around passing at the back there, Madrid. But a great play from Ben. Nice ball roll, finding the pass out wide here to Rashford. Rashford straight back to him. Little ball roll past that defender with his first touch before unleashing a lovely left-footed strike into the back of the net via the post on the way through. A little bit of a Spanish samba dance, I guess you can say. I don't know what it's actually called. I think the celebration in the actual list is called the Spanish dance or something, or it might be just samba. I don't know. Anyways, but lovely little dance and a lovely little finish. I mean, that ball roll just set him up perfectly, didn't it? Just did the defender. He was like, okay, he's going to go around this way. He doesn't decide to do that in the end and strikes one into the back of the net. So Ben stepping up when Real Madrid kind of needed it. As I said to you, I mean, they didn't have a great performance in the first game against Barca, losing 1-0. Then they had a less than good performance in the last one against Leganes. So they needed something to give here. And Ben finds his 14th league goal of the season. And that should now keep him in third place in the list of scorers. 4 minutes into the game. Couldn't really ask for a better start, could we? As 18 minutes in, though, Ben on the ball again here. Take a look at this. Good turn. Aubameyang makes a great run through the middle. Ben finds him with a pass, but the keeper does ever so well. He comes out, makes himself big, and denies Alaves the chance, or denies Real Madrid, the chance to go 2-0 up in the game. Ben going for the short corner, looks to cross it in. It's straight in towards the middle. You can see eventually it gets cleared away, but not cleared completely. Aubameyang backwards to Ramos. Ramos through to, I'm not quite sure who it was on the edge of the area. He finds Rashford. Rashford on the turn, tries to find the back of the net, but can't do that either. And 8 minutes from time, they're looking to shore up the 3 points here, Madrid, and just trying to close the game out. But Ben says, you know what? I'm going to do a little bit of trickery. Finds a great ball to the middle. And really, that should have been 2-0. Hands down, should have been 2-0. But the chance isn't ended there because Ronaldo, finding Cruz, Ronaldo gets the ball back from him, finds Ben, who turns the defender expertly. And it would have been so good if he could have found the finish. But sadly, his curling effort went past the post. But the turn for that one was just absolutely brilliant from him. But as I said, couldn't quite find the back of the net there, which is what I was hoping he would do. As he moved to the last 3 minutes of the game now, Aguero through to Ben. Ben on the ball, again through one-on-one with the keeper, has a shot, keeps it down low, which is what you asked them to do. But again, the keeper, decent stop, and he's kept his team in the game. That's his job, I guess you can say. So, I mean, I'm not really surprised. As the game was ended, it was Real Madrid back to winning ways, thankfully for Ben. It's a 1-0 victory. It's a slender one, but the most important thing is they've got the 3 points on the board, and Ben as well played with a man-of-the-match performance. So not too bad from the young man. And you can see there the other results. Of course, the only things that the Madrid fans and you guys need to be looking out for is the results of Bilbao and I think Atletico Madrid, because right now they are the only two that realistically can catch this Real Madrid side and possibly give them a run for the money. So those are the only two teams you guys need to worry about, is Atletico Madrid and Athletic Bilbao, I think it is. So yeah, keep tabs on those two teams, because they're the only ones who can challenge Real Madrid, I guess you can call it. So I'm not sure if they have to play against Atletico Bilbao and Atletico Madrid again this season. I guess we'll find out. But there's only around about 9, 10 games to go. Something like that, I think. But we're getting close to the edge, and Ben at the moment is in prime position to pick up a La Liga title. I've seen a few of you guys saying to me you want him to leave Real Madrid. So what I will do, before the season ends, I will give you guys a little vote in, of course, the top right-hand side of the corner. It won't be this episode, it won't be the next one, but before we get to the end of the season, I'll get a general consensus from you guys as to whether or not you want Ben to remain at Real Madrid or leave Real Madrid, and then I'll try and make it so that you guys make the decision on where he goes, if you guys want him to leave, that is. I just want to see how many of you guys are saying yes and how many of you guys are saying no, you want him to stay, basically. So, as this game against Osasuna got underway, again, pretty much like-for-like carbon copy of what happened with Ben in the first goal of the episode earlier on when he scored against Alaves. He opens up the scoring in this game here against Osasuna. So, I mean, as I said, he's just world-class. He's quality. He gets through, left-footed finish across the goalkeeper into the corner of the net. There isn't going to be many goalkeepers in the world that's going to save that one. And that takes him now, I do believe, on to 15 for this season. What a beast. What an absolute beast this kid is. And for the points and stuff, it just increases Real Madrid even more. So, I mean, yeah, what can you say? Real Madrid are having a fun time at the moment at the top of the table. And it looks as if they are on their way to wrapping up this league title even before the 38 games have been played. Great run from that man there on your screen. It finds its way to Ben. Ben through to Isco. Isco, great turn of the defender and keeps his composure to slide a left-footed curling effort into the bottom corner. I say curling effort, he was literally 6-7 yards out, so he can't really miss from there when he's done all the hard work, can he? So Isco, good play, but you have to give credit to number 21, I think it is it Vendel, who had the great run in getting the man in behind. I think it was. It might have been Vendel, or it could have been, I don't actually know who else it could have been, but it is number 21, Vendel, it was. So great run from him. I have to give him credit for that one, finding Ben with a nice pass, and then Ben just simply taps it through to Isco, who does the rest for Madrid. And that now is 2-0 in the first half. It should be a Real Madrid victory because defensively, they are the most solid team in the division and they don't leak goals, which is one thing that Real Madrid have had good all season long. I have to admit, defensively, they are very, very sound as we move into the stroke of half-time, and it could have quite easily been 3 for Real Madrid. Ben on the ball here, you can see, finds Karim Benzema with a pass. I was looking, hopefully, to send Ben into towards Karim Benzema, but he couldn't quite send him straight through. Eventually, though, he does feed it to Isco, who hits the crossbar on the way through there. So, yeah, disappointing it wasn't 3-0. But 90 minutes on the clock. The Real Madrid victory was already assured, but they wanted chance for one more. Benzema on the ball again, looks for Isco like he did for the initial chance where he hit the crossbar. This time he hits the post, but it's also good because it hits the post and goes into the back of the net. So, Osasuna 0, Real Madrid 3, and that is 3 points on the board for Madrid, and that should now, I do believe, give them at least a 7-point gap at the top of the table heading into the final 9 or so games remaining of this transfer. What am I talking about? This season, I should say. So, yeah, pretty much job done for Madrid today. They had 2 iffy results, but they got back to winning ways, and that's what you need to do if you want to win a title. So, I will see you all, guys, for the next episode of this series, where hopefully we'll be taking on Spurs for the first leg of the Champions League, guys. I can't wait. Genuinely, I cannot wait for that. It's going to be so, so good. Thank you so much for watching this episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, a like, would greatly appreciate it. You guys are incredible, as I say, for all of the support you give me. I really appreciate it. As always, I say it every video. Thank you so, so much. Other than that, guys, I will see you all again at 4 p.m. tomorrow, hopefully to have the Road to Glory career mode starting tomorrow as well at some stage during the day, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, click the little bell next to the subscribe button. You always get notified as a video goes live. I will see you all again at 4 p.m. tomorrow, guys. Adios.